Hello, you're watching NME. We're at Leeds Festival 2017, and this is Bastille.
Hello.
Hi. How are we doing, boys?
Good, thanks. How are you doing?
Pretty good. The weather's out, which is...
Highlights of the weekend
weather's
so
out?
far?
The weather's always out.
Yeah, the weather is out. It happens to be good. How has your weekend been so far?
Really good. Muse are insane. Liam was on form. How was Reading?
Reading was potentially one of the funnest gigs of our lives, I think. Yeah, we were just like so lucky to get to play on the main stage, and quite a lot of people came, which was very surreal. How was it for you, Kyle?
I had a lot of fun at Reading, thank you.
Yeah.
Put that in a press release, that'd be good. So
He's always good for a quote.
One step from the top, which suggests that the only place to go from here is headline. Does that play on your mind? Do you think...
Oh, no, not at all.
Job centre, one of the two. Job centre or headline.
You know what? I loved our slot last night. It felt like there's always been like an element of sort of underdogness to us, and that sounds ridiculous, and that's probably the worst sentence anyone's ever said. But like, I think we've always been a band that like people seem to really like, but you know, I don't know, we've never been like super hyped or anything, and it's always a pleasure to get to play a show and have more people come than we expect. To put things in a really bad way, I can't talk today, sorry. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really fussed about. I mean, it would be very surreal to headline, but I guess there's lots of pressure that would come with that. And it was just so great last night. We had such a good time. Everyone was so up for it, and yeah, I loved it.
What do you think a band needs to headline a festival?
To be really good, probably. I mean, that's not always true, but I don't know. I think it's interesting. It is interesting looking at the headliners, and I think particularly with Reading and Leeds have got like a bit of a sort of rock heritage, obviously. But it's so exciting that like Eminem, we're obviously on different days, but the days are so different. To have Eminem, Major Lazer, and Korn as a triple bill, like, wow.
Yeah.
But I remember like probably the most exciting show and the most energetic and the biggest crowd I've seen in the last few years was Kendrick 2 years ago at Reading, and it was like unbelievable and so exciting to see a Reading crowd going absolutely nuts for Kendrick, particularly after his second record, which was so like important and politicised, and but to see that in a live context and see people just losing their shit, it was amazing.
Just for some context, Jimmy Eat World are playing in the middle at the moment. It sounds
I know.
But as you were saying, there's a lot of old people that grumble about how this is supposed to be a guitar festival, but what the kids are coming to see, what people are coming to see, just proves that that's just not true, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally. I think like people just love like hip hop is mainstream pop, particularly in America at the moment. And it's an exciting genre, and production-wise, it's sort of at the forefront. And yeah, I think to answer your previous question, I think what people to headline, I think you just need good tunes.
So headlining Reading, you released your Green Day cover. How have you found the world's reaction to that?
We were asked to do it, and we're kind of obviously tentative because we absolutely love Green Day, and it kind of feels very odd covering a song that's a classic. But so we just thought, if we're going to do it, let's have fun with it. Let's do something that is completely, hopefully respectful to the original, but but completely a million miles in the opposite direction. So we're like, well, we'll have no like band instruments. We'll just have live strings, live brass, classical percussion, and hopefully it's like respectful and captures the spirit of the song. But the main thing is that Billy Joe gave it a thumbs up.
Oh, really?
Which is, for us, we're like, well, if that happened,
you're just like,
yeah, no, exactly. It's like handing in your coursework and being terrified of what was going to think. But yeah, yeah, we got the thumbs up from him.
So is that like an email, or did you get like a WhatsApp emoji thumbs up? Or like?
Yeah.
What have you got? I don't know what this one means, but is that like whatever?
What does that one mean?
Backhand, squirt.
Yeah. That one either means I don't care or here's your food. I can't figure out which one. People don't carry food like that anymore because it's just irresponsible.
Well, apparently they've never approved a cover before.
Oh, really?
So that was Yeah, I think. Yeah, we've done a lot of covers. We do these mixtapes that kind of, for us, allow us to mess around with production and different sounds, and it's meant to be like respectful to the original. But obviously, we're a band that divide opinion, and when you cover a much loved classic, I was kind of expecting more hate than we got, but yeah.
The internet is a dark place.
It is, yeah. sometimes good to dip into, sometimes best avoided.
Are there any songs that you think are too sacred to cover?
Probably Basket Case by Green Day.
Pretty bold to try and do Bohemian Rhapsody. I think that was pretty untouchable, that one.
And any tracks that you're itching to cover?
Not really. We're kind of we've just been making loads and loads of new music recently, and just trying to figure out the best time and way to release it. So yeah, I guess we've just they finished. Yeah, we're just excited to get on new music out.
Speaking of which, you recently told us that it was obviously you soak in everything that's going on in the world. You said it was inspired by politics, but not directly. I mean, in what shape is that taking in terms of the lyrics?
For the new music?
Yeah.
Well, I think the last record was sort of a conscious decision to acknowledge how complicated and messed up, like, the world events seem, but not in a worthy way. We're just trying to do it in a, like, you fucking switch on the TV or go on Twitter and you can't help but see these, like, sadly regular events that are so shocking, and maybe that's just the nature of the narrative of the news and whatever, but it's it just feels particularly fraught and mad. And I think for us it was just trying to write songs that acknowledge these things are happening, and also how, like, it's quite complicated to figure out how you should react to them. Like, there's obviously no right answer, but we wanted to make a record that was kind of conscious of the current times, but also not too. We're not looking to, like, to preach or push a political agenda. It was, it happens that politics sort of comes into that sphere because it's a kind of crazy time for politics in the world at the moment. I think with the tour that we did, it was a kind of heightened version of the things on the album, so it was much more, we wanted it to look provocative and interesting, and it was kind of quite weird last night. It's the first time that we've had this Theresa May in drag behind us for Fake It, one of our songs, and we didn't really clock it in our minds until we were playing that song.
Yeah.
Actually, she pops up for a minute in Good Grief, which is much earlier in the set, and it was just quite fun hearing the crowd be like, what? But yeah, I think that there's no, like, agenda. We just, it's kind of unavoidable in our minds. But then I think we've sort of come to this realization as well that as much as I think there's a responsibility to sort of talk about things, I think there's also people come to festivals and they listen to music to not think about that as well. So I think going into, like, the next phase of what we do, yeah, we're not looking to, like, extend that, and we don't want to be those guys at all.
It must be nice because, as the last election showed, your audience and younger generations are now more engaged in politics than ever. I don't really have a question. I'm just saying that's great.
No. It's amazing, and I mean, and that's the really fascinating thing with the UK at the moment, is looking at how many young people came out to vote and who they voted for. Like, there's such a huge generational divide of, like, older right, younger left. And it's kind of tragic that this older generation is voting for the future of their children and their grandchildren, and it's not the future that the younger generations want. And it's fascinating. Like, the fact that there was a campaign to call up your grandma and convince her to not vote Tory is like, it says so much. And it was amazing to see. I think there was a realization that it's important and it's going to affect everybody's lives, and so it was really heartening to see how engaged people got, I think.
And I'm assuming you guys won't be playing the alternative Tory Glastonbury.
Is that a thing?
Apparently that's the thing. Yeah, the Conservatives are really angry that Corbyn and all the lefties got so united at Glastonbury that they want to put on an alternative festival for Conservatives.
What are they going to get for that?
Yeah, I know.
Gary Barlow.
Corbyn got the biggest crowds I've ever seen at Glastonbury. In my like 9 years of going, that was the biggest crowd I've ever seen. Corbyn and Craig David.
Yeah, that was
Got the
sick.
biggest crowd.
They should duet. But
Yeah, that'd be a wonderful duet.
yeah, who would play the Tory Glastonbury?
I'm so interested to see who would. Was that career suicide? Let's play this thing. Oh, that's the last gig we did. Cool. I don't know. I can't believe that's a thing. They'll pull it. That won't be a real thing. They won't get anyone to do it.
Who do you think should play it?
Who should play it or who would play it?
Well, both.
Gary Barlow's a Tory, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah. Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. Just get up and do a monologue.
They could just book Michael Caine to just come out and like apologise. That'd be good.
For what?
For voting Leave.
Oh, right. Well, wasn't there a big gig, like a leave campaign gig, and didn't everybody just pull out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Pull out.
Yeah, no, I mean that. Not a weekend that we will be rushing to in a hurry.
Mm.
Can you rush in a hurry? Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna shut up. Sorry, I'm just gonna shut up.
Sweet. On that note, guys, I think that's all we got time for.
Thanks very much for having us.
Thank you very much, Bastille.
Cheers.
Clap in internet land.